Jay-Z doing a story about this girl down in Florida, but you got the thing about Mia Nichols right here in your own hometown, and you won't tell the stories about them. You know what I'm saying? She been missing since October of 2008. She got 3 kids that miss her. We've been looking for her. I've been to your station with the flyers, and you won't do nothing about it. I've talked to you personally. You know what I'm saying? Y'all know me. I'm a community activist, and y'all need to break some news on this story.
Let's go to Captain Mike Perry with more. Mike?
Initially came out as a rescue, Kai. We were told that this was just off the...
Justice Scalia and Thomas.
This is about Troy Davis and the Innocence Project.
Any court
and the courts have ruled habeas corpus. So you're going to have to take my case to the district court, since Lake County, I proved the racism that exists in Lake County, Illinois.
Now, I want to go back to that quote.
I went to the Innocence Project today.
The court has never held that the Constitution forbids the execution of a convicted defendant who has had a full and fair trial, but is later able to convince a habeas court.
I didn't have a full and fair trial, and you did everything to me illegally.
We've repeatedly left that question unresolved while
you're going to resolve this. I'm telling you. I gave you the papers to go to the Supreme Court.
Constitutionally cognizable.
I gave it to my lawyer, Karen Levy. I gave it to my lawyer, Mr. Zellweger here in Baltimore, and I gave it to Schellenberger. All 3 of them got where this case can be heard in the Supreme Court. Dred Scott decision is my basis. So you need to really think about this. I'm going to definitely walk this thing all the way through. Book, movie, lawsuit, and I get to change something that happened in this world. I get to save a life. It's not my son, somebody else's child.
That even if a prisoner were able to demonstrably prove that they were innocent, and beyond any scintilla of a doubt, he would nonetheless say that there's nothing that the Supreme Court or federal courts could do, and that person nonetheless would be executed, and that wouldn't violate the Constitution.
That's good old boy.
That's
good old boy law.
Thankfully, on the court.
You were with the Innocence Project.
Good old boy law, man. And Clarence Thomas with his, you know who Clarence Thomas is.
Those who are not on death.
He hate black people, for real.
Testing, we've been able to exonerate 241 people so far. 17 of those were on death row. This is significant because the problems in our criminal justice system with forensic science, with eyewitness identification.
Dude, they didn't have no witnesses. They didn't have nothing. I had all the evidence and they destroyed it. What you gonna do with that?
Well, this is really just the tip of the iceberg, the DNA cases. Most cases don't...
You got my hair, so my case better not come up nowhere else. I want all my hair back. I want my DNA taken off y'all's list.
What could be thousands and thousands,
because I know you can reproduce DNA.
Who are in prison on death row for crimes they didn't commit.
Not just on death row, but in prison period for crimes they didn't commit. So we're gonna really attack this in the judicial level.
And yet again, I'm
quiet. I'm a quiet man. I'm a spook who sat by the door, and I'm coming in the front door of the Justice Department. I'm coming through the front door of the Supreme Court. Been there, done that. I don't go on the back door. I'm an upfront guy.
So just to see how this will go down now, a federal court judge will look at Troy Anthony Davis's case, look at the evidence. Yes, and then what happens?
Well, they will take testimony, and again, the first time that any court has taken testimony on evidence of innocence.
Man, I got all the evidence you need.
Meaning bring up the people who've recanted their testimony.
That's right. They will give live testimony, they will give direct examination, they've been cross-examined. It's also an opportunity for his lawyers to present
my lawyers didn't do none of that.
Reliability of scientific research over the last 30 years that has shown
I got all the research and all the papers and everything I need right here.
Are based on mistaken ID, and basically paint an entire
with no mistaken ID. It was a lie about Shorty twice. So
the actual killer, eyewitness identification problems.
I got witnesses up the ass for y'all.
Was not the shooter in this case.
Now he, the judge, or she, the judge, cannot exonerate Troy Davis right at that moment. Is that right? That would determine whether there would be a new trial?
Yes, they can. They could grant Troy Davis a new trial, but in fact, if they grant him a habeas hearing and say that he's being
I want a habeas hearing.
I believe that they would actually have the power.
And I'm asking for a habeas hearing.
Justice Scalia and Justice Stevens disagree.
I asked for it in Baltimore already. Judge Previs,
if they were to credit all the evidence.
Judge Bell.
But
I told Turnbull about this situation back in about 2 years ago. That's why I refused to be on the jury.
And if
So,
the judge rules that the
send this
evidence
to
is not good
Waukegan.
enough, the lawyers for
Send this to
Troy
the
Davis
Justice
could
Department.
appeal again to the
Send this to
Supreme
my
Court.
senators and congressmen. Y'all need to defend my rights and give me a new trial. And y'all need to do it now.
This is Democracy Now! When we come
I
back,
want my democracy
we'll
now.
hear what happened on that night exactly 20 years ago, or
I
the
put mine on.
destruction of,
You can hear everything on
the
tape.
events
The movie
surrounding
coming out.
the killing of the police officer,
And I didn't
the
kill
arrest
nobody.
and
I just
conviction
threatened to
of Troy
sue you.
Davis.